My name is Lea Milligan. I'm the CEO of MQ Mental Health Research and I sit on the leadership team of the GALENOS project. So I think if you cast your mind back 10-15 years to where research was, you had this real desire by academics and clinicians to advance treatments for their patients. And in that desire to do good, patients were probably left by the wayside way too often. And their complexities and their needs weren't met. And sometimes what happens in academia is we run off into whatever avenue interests us the most, and actually the impact for the patient is completely lost. 10-15 years on, the voice of the patient, the voice of the lived experience participant is greater than ever. And so in the GALENOS project, where we're trying to bring together a global understanding of where the evidence base is, we have to again make sure that the patient voice, the lived experience of the people that that evidence is meant to serve is at the very heart of that decision making. And you can do that in a couple of ways. You can, engage people or survey people or ask them their opinion. But at GALENOS, what we've done is of the 4 work packages, we've built one specifically around co-production. So how do people who have lived experience help to design and decide what evidence we should look at, how we bring it together, and then how we present it out to the rest of the world. So I think for me, co-production is about recognizing the expertise of multiple individuals. So we need expertise from clinicians, we need expertise from psychiatrists and psychologists and neurologists, we need expertise from data scientists. And you could stop at that list and finish off with academia, but if you're missing that lens of the people at the sharpest end of the whole process, you're missing an expertise. And you wouldn't run an evidence synthesis and pull out the team that do the data extraction. You wouldn't pull out the academic who's asking the psychiatric question. And so to pull out that patient or to offer lip service to that patient group is ultimately going to reduce the impact of the whole program. And so the GALENOS leadership and the Welcome team that have funded this program recognise that that is an integral cog within that process. So if you start with that premise and you genuinely believe that premise, then it kind of happens naturally on the way through. And at MQ, part of our role is to help facilitate and support those patients to then be involved as equal partners in the project and amplify their voice within that project. So they have an advocate internally to make sure that cog doesn't de-trick itself from the rest of the machine. So I think great co-production, whether that's with any sort of stakeholders, is ultimately rooted in relationship first and foremost. And when you build those relationships, you build trust with individuals, and then you recognise that as a group of people with different opinions or expertise or vantage points, you can assault the ideas and rigorously attack them without attacking individuals. And so for me, good co-production with patients is about building relationships across the team, believing and showing where that equity actually lives in, and then giving people the freedom and space to go, look, we're going to attack ideas here. If you feel that it's something coming towards you, then we'll stop and we'll house that and we'll talk about that and we'll make sure that's not the case. But ultimately we're trying to be rigorous on the ideas, and if everyone's open to that across the piece, then you bring those dimensions together. And that's at the root of all diversity and equity and inclusion models, is how do you allow that rigorous assault without the individuals ever being attacked. The scale and ambition of the project is to be applauded, but that does come with its challenges. So in trying to build a co-production model, we've tried to make sure that we've covered every continent of the world, people from different socioeconomic backgrounds, people with different experiences of mental health conditions across the spectrum, people who have different understandings of research, have some experience in evidence synthesis, some none at all. So as diverse a cohort as we could make, with an open application process that had over 80 applicants from around the world that we then went through and selected down to. And those individuals create a steering group or a board that then help to together direct the protocols, adjust the evidence models that we're going to deliver against. In addition to all of that, all those other people that applied have been invited to be part of a bank of individuals who, when we want to deploy specific lived experience feedback or surveys or focus groups, etc., that group then have the capability to be involved. So while we've got this sort of board of 12 individuals rigorously leading the strategy, we've got this wider group of nearly 100 people who are then able to input into the project. So we've tried to match the ambition of the scale of the project in how we've constructed the co-production model.